Priscilla and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a plan with me and we're going to be setting up for the month of February. Now that's a weird word to say. I recently started bullet journaling last month and so far it's been great. But since making my January spreads, I've made a lot of changes and I've learned a lot of things about my personal preferences when it comes to bullet journaling. So I thought I would make these videos monthly where I set up my bullet journal for the next month and then talk about what worked in the previous month and what didn't. You guys can kind of follow along my journey and see how I've been changing my bullet journal, fitting it for my day-to-day life. First off, as you see here, I'm in the midst of drawing my cover page for the month of February. And since love is in the air during February, I thought I would go for a Paris City of Love kind of scene this month. I kind of repeat these significant buildings and elements of Paris throughout the month when I'm setting up the rest of my pages. Last month in January, the symbols that I ended up repeating a lot through my pages were trees and mountain scenery because I really wanted to go on adventures this year and travel as part of my goals. So I thought it was really cute to do this theme and I'd love to see the architectures in Paris one day. The pens that I'm using are the Sakura Pigma Micron pens that I got from Amazon. I get everything on Amazon. And I'm switching between all the different thicknesses. When I do want to add pops of color, I use the Artist Loft watercolor dual tip markers. That's a mouthful. They are a good alternative to the Tombow brush pens and you can also get them for 40% off. And of course, the iconic Eiffel Tower. I really like the way this turned out and I feel like it just looks very pretty and just makes me want to visit the city of love. Title page is done, moving on to my monthly log. This is the first time I'm including this in my monthly bullet journal setup because I usually use my wall calendar, but I thought I'd try it out and see if it works for me. For the header, I was inspired by the signage that I've been seeing on shops in Paris. On the bottom, I just added some fancy squiggly lines, some leaves, and some cute tiny flowers. Oh, and of course, I had to put the dates and the month of February. I think this spread is pretty simple to make and I feel like it will be pretty functional. For the next page, I really like the idea of cafes and coffee shops, so I decided to make a menu-like layout with a banner for the title, Goals and Tasks. I also added these patterned stacked cups on the bottom right corner as a cute accent for the page. I really wanted to add this page this month because it will be something I will keep coming back to help me focus on my goals and things I want to get done for the month. Ready, set, goals. Now moving on to my trackers, the buildings and architecture in Paris are what really caught my eye when I was planning for this month's theme. So I decided to doodle and draw more of them for my habit tracker page. First, I was intimidated to draw these, but I realized as I was sketching that repetition and lines can go a really long way. I had fun drawing different door and window designs. I had no idea that I can come up with so many. And I also added some clouds and a tiny hot air balloon just to reiterate that Paris feel. And with the lines, lots of lines, a lot of lines, different sizes for the bridge. I used my washi tape here to create the curved lines too. You gotta be resourceful. Now I'm just writing the days of the week. This is a risky way of doing it. I definitely want to invest in one of those calendar stamps to make the process a little bit easier and faster. Here, you see exactly what I was talking about. I messed up the dates, but that's okay. We're just going to patch this up and we're good to go. There's lots of ways to fix your mistakes in your bullet journal, and that's what makes it so awesome. I found these trackers to be useful because they keep me accountable for the habits that I want to build. I get excited to fill it in by the end of the day, and I get to feel very accomplished. Last month, I tracked 25 habits, and that was amazing. But I got it down to 12 habits this month, and I'm really excited to fill this in. Now, in tracking my mood last month, I found it interesting that it correlated with my month cycle. So when it's almost that time of the month, I'm definitely more sensitive and stressed. But after it's done, hey girl, I'm in a more relaxed and focused state. I decided to draw these macarons to track my mood. My boyfriend said they look like burgers, but I thought it would be cute when I filled them in and see how colorful my moods can be. I made a cutout template for these macarons so I can easily repeat and stack them on top of each other, and I added a ribbon just to tie the whole composition together. And of course, the titles. You can see me use the macaron template at the end here when I realized I only drew 27 macarons, but there are 28 days of the month. Flipping over to the next spread, which will be my space of infinite possibilities, I am creating this image of an open window looking out to a view. We are opening our hearts this year to new adventures. This spread is an essential for me ever since I started planning back then with a passion planner. I love having this space where I can just write down any ideas and thoughts that I have or want to remember. And here I am just drawing the iconic Eiffel Tower again. Now on to this week's spread. I am doing a layout that I haven't done before. When I was first introduced to the bullet journaling world, I stumbled upon what is called a Dutch door. I am really excited to try it out for this month's first weekly spread. I find it essential to have a space for practicing gratitude on my weekly spreads. I love starting my day with what I'm grateful for. It sets the tone for the rest of the day, and it's a good reminder that every day is a blessing. February starts on a Friday, so I added this first weekend on the first page of the spread. On the left side, I wanted to keep it simple and was inspired by Paris street signs. For the Dutch door, which is the highlight of this spread, I decided to draw this illustration of the Moulin Rouge with, again, lots of lines, windows, and some pretty roses, and a quote from the movie that I thought was appropriate for February's Valentine's Day. And that is, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is to love and be loved in return. Now that's deep. This month just really reminds me of love. I'm a sucker for love. We all need love, so just love. One thing I really love are drop shadows. They just make your boxes pop. And we're just filling in these drop shadows. Now it's cutting time. I drew the same illustration on the other side and just decided to keep it simple for the rest of the layout. I will be using this Dutch store for note-taking throughout the week. I feel like the spread is pretty functional and quick to do, even if you didn't want to do the Dutch store and the illustration. And we're just finishing up with the days of the week. And of course, a lot more drop shadows. Alright guys, here is a final flip through of my February 2019 bullet journal setup with a City of Love theme. I hope you enjoyed this video and are excited to see more monthly bullet journal update videos. If you are, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye!